Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Blake the Book Eater here, and I'm finally making videos again. So, I promise I have not forgotten about this channel. It has just been a crazy last couple of months. I've been insanely busy and life has just kind of gotten in the way, so I apologize on not uploading as much as frequently. Be sure to follow my my social channels, my Instagram and my Twitter, because I definitely post a lot more frequently there, and I'm going to start posting more TikTok soon, but yes, I will begin regularly posting on this channel again, because I'm sorry. I haven't been like not doing anything while I was gone. I'm about to move. I got a new job, and just a lot of great things have been happening, like in my personal life. So, yeah, things are great. But I've been reading a lot of manga, as you can probably tell from the title. I was just finding a really hard time reading physical books, or not like, because manga, they are books, but just easier to digest in my opinion, because it just got to the point where like I was so busy that like sitting down and dedicating time to like a chapter or like however much of like a book, it was like great, and but also at the same time just kind of daunting, because I just felt like I was being pulled in like a billion different directions and I needed a break. So I started off by reading Demon Slayer. Now, I love manga, and if you've followed the channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about some other series like To Your Eternity or Assassination Classroom, Fullmetal Alchemist, Death Note, like all these great series that I've read, but I got really sick like a couple months back. Not COVID, just the flu. And so I just started binge watching Demon Slayer, and nothing has gotten me that hooked like on a story in like, oh my god, I don't even know how long. I consumed it, I loved it, I binged all of it, both seasons and the movie, like that. And so I needed to know what happened, so I got the manga and I got the entire complete series because I loved the show that much and I knew that I would want to own it. And so I binge read all 23 volumes of Demon Slayer. Now, I read a lot more manga, but I'm going to talk about them briefly in segments, because reading the entire finished series of Demon Slayer just really made me appreciate the manga medium so much, because it's been a while since I've read a complete manga series. Assassination Classroom, Fullmetal Alchemist, Death Note, those were all complete. And I think all the series have been around 20-ish volumes. Like Demon Slayer was around 23 volumes, Assassination Classroom was 21, Fullmetal Alchemist was 27. So that's kind of like the length of a good series, in my opinion. It goes on long enough, you love the characters, and you have time to get invested. And then there are some other series that I'm following, but more like on a volume to volume basis, and I don't have like as a deep of an appreciation of the characters in the story as I do for like these series that are done, and I can see like how the threads in the first volume carry over to the final volume. So all's that to say, I loved Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is probably one of the best series I've ever read. I think it's fantastic. The action is amazing, and even if you like just want to wait for the animation, because the animation is going to be beautiful and amazing, but even in manga form, the way that the action is drawn is just so unique and compelling. The characters are awesome, and if you somehow don't know anything about Demon Slayer, it's about a boy named Tanjiro, and his entire family is murdered by demons, and his sister is turned into one, and so he decides to go on a journey to try to find a way to heal her so that she can be normal again. And he has to face a lot of demons, and it's great. It's very simple executed fantastically. So yeah, Demon Slayer, 10 out of 10. So then I started kind of binge watching more anime, such as like Jujutsu Kaisen and things like that. And I was reading some manga volumes here and there, just like standalones or like short series. But finishing Demon Slayer really ignited the desire into me to like read more finished series. And also because I knew that Demon Slayer was so popular and so iconic and a lot of people like had been talking about it for years at this point, I was like, I feel like I need to do some catching up. I need to catch up on some series that are finished, that are really popular, that everybody knows, and they're used as cultural touch points. So that's when I decided to read Dragon Ball. And so this is Dragon Ball. And this is Dragon Ball Z. What actually inspired me to read Dragon Ball was this YouTube video that I watched by Super Eyepatch Wolf about how Dragon Ball Z was one of the most iconic series of all time. And if you're anything like me, when you're like doing random tasks around the house or just like need some background noise, you'll throw on a 30 to 40 minute YouTube video essay, because I do that all the time. I do it while I eat. I do it while I do random chores, while I fold my laundry, whatever. I'll just throw on some random noise and hear some person's opinion about a topic that I knew nothing about like 10 minutes ago. And so I watched all of Super Eyepatch Wolf's amazing video about how iconic Dragon Ball Z is. And, you know, it just really was like, you know, this is a series that I've heard about my whole life, you know, from the memes and the references, and you know, I had never watched it as a kid, so I was like, you know what, now's the time to get into it. So I downloaded the Viz Media app, which is much better of a way to do things than buying all the manga like I did, but it's $2 a month and you can read like basically all the manga you want. And so I decided to just read all of Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball is really just one manga. However, when it was made into these anime series, they split it up into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And so in the US, when they decided to release the manga, the English translations, they also split the manga into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But in Japan, it's just one series called Dragon Ball. Except for Dragon Ball Super, but that's a sequel series, and whatever, we're not going into that right now. So, so I read Dragon Ball, which is basically Goku's young life from when he's a kid to kind of when he's an early adult, and the end of the third Tenkaichi tournament. And this, so I'll specifically talking about Dragon Ball, the first half of the series. I thought it was so cute. It was really adorable. You get a lot of like really interesting stories in here. This is definitely a product of the 80s. It's definitely got some cringy humor, like sexual based humor, which is kind of jarring to read as like, you know, an American who, you know, like, because this was mainly meant for like kids, and they go all in with the crass sexual humor, and so definitely wasn't expecting that going in, but it kind of evens out towards the end of this, and then in Dragon Ball Z there's like none of it, but so like halfway through the series it turns into more of a martial arts series. Like the first is more of an adventure, mystical, need to go find the Dragon Balls, and then it starts shifting into martial arts, and it's so charming. The characters are great, and Akira Toriyama's art style is just so fun to read, and so I really had a blast with Dragon Ball. And I'm actually currently watching the Dragon Ball anime right now because I loved the series so much that I wanted to watch the anime as well. So I'm on a journey to watch all of the Dragon Ball anime, which is a damn journey, I will tell you that, but definitely fun. So then there's Dragon Ball Z. So the Dragon Ball, the first part of the series is 16 volumes, and then this is 26 volumes, so in total Dragon Ball has 42 volumes, which is a hefty amount. And so Dragon Ball Z, this is where I really fell in love with the series, because like Dragon Ball was fun and cute and charming, and I really, really started to love it towards the end of the series. And so Akira Toriyama, while he was, you know, making Dragon Ball, he realized that what the audience wanted, they wanted more of these martial arts fights. They wanted more of these kind of like epic moments. So it started veering away from more of like a gag manga and like all the comedy and stuff. And there's still comedy, but it's definitely more action focused. It's more intense. It's more focused on powering up. It's like getting stronger and training and bigger and bigger threats. Like literally, it's almost comical how the threats escalate in this series. But so the villains and the antagonists and the storylines in Dragon Ball Z are just legitimately so intense and so much fun to read. Like, so I read most of the series on the app, and then I finished off because this took like a couple weeks to come in. So I finished off the series in manga, but for most of it I read on the app. And they actually had the first two sagas of Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga, in full color versions, which were so fun to read, just because the colors were so vibrant and everything. And I was so hooked that I read over 100 chapters in a day, which, if you don't know, one volume of manga is about anywhere between 5 to 10 chapters roughly. So I read a lot that day, and I know I hit 100 chapters because the Viz Media app subscription literally won't let you read more than 100 chapters in a day. And I didn't realize that until I hit the limit, and I was like, damn it, why are you limiting me like this? But it is kind of crazy, and I haven't hit that limit ever again. So yeah, that just tells you how sucked into the Dragon Ball story that I was. So yeah, I love the characters in this. The moments are awesome. It's intense. And like, I just, over time, like reflecting back on my experience of reading this series, it just makes me really happy. Like no other series, like I can really like quantify it like this. Like I love Demon Slayer, just I think overall, just like as a manga, I think it's better. But just like looking at Dragon Ball's influence on literally everything, because like most of the shonen tropes, most of the everything has kind of come from Dragon Ball, and so kind of seeing the origin of that was like kind of crazy. And yeah, I genuinely love this series. I think it's a manga that everybody should check out. There is a lot of anime episodes. There's a lot of episodes. So I think the best way to consume Dragon Ball is to actually read it. And it's pretty easy to read, and it's definitely worth your time. So that's Dragon Ball. And then, so Dragon Ball is kind of considered the grandfather of shonen anime. It is the predecessor to the big three, which, if you know, you know. The big three are Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. These series have kind of been pillars of like basically the early 2000s to like the mid 2010s, and they have left their mark just on culture and anime in general. And so I decided that I'm going to read all three of the big three. So the next one that I read was Naruto, and I'm actually still reading Naruto. I wanted to hold off on making a video about it until after I finish the series, but I think I'll just do an update because it's been so long since I talked to you guys, so I figured I might as well just do an update and let you guys know where I'm at. So currently, so Demon Slayer had 23, Dragon Ball had 42, and Naruto has 72 volumes. And I just finished volume 51. So you can definitely see how these series are time consuming and why I haven't really been reading anything else the last like 2 months, because there's just so much content. And so I only have box set 2 because the first and the third boxes are currently out of print, and I will snag them when they come back in print. So Naruto is interesting because my brother's actually watching the entire Naruto anime with his girlfriend, and so it's kind of fun talking with him about the series, because I'm basically getting the series with no filler, very streamlined, and then he's telling me about the extended fights and what happens in the filler arcs. So that's been really fun. I will have to say, I'm not as connected to Naruto as I was to Dragon Ball or even Demon Slayer. Initially, like right off the bat, because Dragon Ball had kind of like that cute, fun comedy that it did really, really well, that connected me to the characters. And then when things got serious, it like the shift in tone worked really, really well. And Demon Slayer, the tone was always kind of serious. Great comedy moments, but like, so I was definitely emotionally there with the characters. Naruto is kind of weird because when it starts, it's at this place where like the first couple volumes, I was like in it, I was like, okay, I see why it caught on. Like, it's like pretty emotional, it's like funny. And then, this might be controversial for me to say, but the Chunin exams happened. And I know a lot of people love that arc. I thought it was so boring. I could not wait for it to be over. And like, I know the purpose of that arc is to establish all the different characters, because you're having different characters pitted up against each other, so you can see, you know, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their powers are, like what do they do. But especially in early Naruto, the world building felt really random and kind of dumb. And so it was just hard for me to like really connect to that world. But then as the series went on, and so there's like Naruto had a part 1 and then a part 2. And so towards the end of part 1, it really started getting more emotionally focused on the characters, especially with Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura. And so then I was getting a little bit more invested. And so then part 2 started, and let me tell you, it changed. It changed for the better because, well, part 1, in my opinion, is pretty mid. It was good, but pretty mid. The second half of Naruto, at least so far, is fantastic. Like, I guarantee you when people talk about Naruto and like why it's their favorite or big things that they remember from the series, they're usually referencing Naruto Part 2, which the anime was Naruto Shippuden. So similar to Dragon Ball being split into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Naruto was split into Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. And the villains just got way better. The antagonists, the world building actually started to like really come through, and we're getting more exposition. We're getting more. We're learning more about the world. The characters are really starting to feel like fleshed out, and like even the side characters, like and there were some battles in here that rivaled even the battles that I was like loving in Demon Slayer and in Dragon Ball Z. So like it was just really, really fun to read. And it's like the end of this box set. So there's one more like big arc in box set 3, but so the pain arc in this part of Naruto is one of the best manga arcs I've ever read. It was ridiculously entertaining, and that's another situation where I basically read 100 chapters in a day, although I read it, you know, in in volume format, so I didn't hit the 100 chapter limit on the app, so I don't know for sure, but I read a lot because I was just so invested. Like, I could not put the books down, and I was like, next one. And so yeah, that kind of brings us to today. And so what's up with the future? Well, honestly, I don't know. It's, I'll be moving in the next month, and so I'm not sure if I'll have time to film and edit a lot of videos. I will be reading a lot, so I'll do updates, you know, here and there when I can. And I know some of you have been a little disappointed, or, you know, because there's been some radio silence with my book club, the Vintage Books and Wine Club. Me and the co-hosts have kind of taken a step back just for the moment, because life just kind of got in the way for a lot of us, and we're definitely planning on reconvening maybe in a couple months towards the end of the year. We're kind of unsure right now, but we will be making a comeback because we do love that club. We do love what we created, but the timing just isn't right now. Also, it has been kind of insane because I feel like, especially now, when I'm really trying to focus on you know, what I'm doing in life and what I'm doing with my career, it feels hard to dedicate so much time to books. And I know that's insane for me to say because I literally have all the books behind me. But like, I haven't been writing as much recently, and kind of it hurts my soul a little bit to know that I haven't written in a while. And so I think I will be taking more time to kind of focus on my career and what I'm trying to do. And so I don't know if I will be reading as much every month. And especially reading so much manga in the last couple of months has honestly been really refreshing because it made me take a break from that expected pace that I've kind of imposed on myself, but I think is felt by a lot of creators who are in this space where it's like the pressure of just quantity and content. It's like, you know, how many books did you read per month? Like, did you read, you know, one book every 2 days? Did you read like 3 books a week? And with a lot of other commitments, that just kind of became impossible for me. And so by kind of stepping back and just realizing that I can take things at my own pace, you know, like quantity wise, I still read a lot because I read a lot of manga, but I felt less, you know, inclined to follow trends or like read the book that Book Twitter or Book Talk was talking about. And honestly, that was like really, really nice because it let me just kind of like fully explore the things that I wanted to. And, you know, there's a lot of books on my shelves that I really want to get to that, you know, I didn't really want to fit on the schedule before because I was like, I don't know if this book is going to be popular. Like, is this video going to do well? Is, you know, and so I think the pressures of creating content like that for, you know, this ever-changing audience, it made me really kind of worry about posting and worry if I was posting the correct thing or if my reading tastes were good enough for the book community, all this, you know, dumb stuff. But, you know, when you start to see views go up on a certain video and down on a certain video, it does get to you a little bit. And so that was really shaping my reading habits. And so by kind of just taking a step back and really focusing on, you know, what I want to read in the moment, I've been having so much fun reading and coming back into the space. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm definitely not abandoning the channel. I will update when I can, and you know, I have videos in the backlog that I filmed, but I honestly at this point will probably never release because it's just so much time to go back and edit and all that kind of stuff. And I think at least for this channel, I do want to just keep moving forward. So for example, yes, I did love Heartstopper. I made a video review about it, but it's past the time. It's past the trending. Just know that I loved Heartstopper, and I will make a video about season 2 when season 2 comes out. But again, like content like that, it was like the pressure. It's like you gotta make it while it's still hot. And now I feel like I can't release the video because, you know, oh my god, I can't speak, because Heartstopper is not trending as much, and so like the video won't do well. And so yeah, just things like that. I'm not really gonna focus on as much. I'm gonna focus more on me and my content and just kind of what I want to make at a whim. So like this month it might be all manga, and next month it might be finishing Wheel of Time, and then you know, I might take a break and like reread, you know, Stormlight Archive again, who knows. But just know that I will be updating you guys. I will be making videos about, you know, things about my thoughts. You know, I might make videos about adaptations that I have yet to cover. I might, you know, maybe I'll skew off and do a movie review here and there. I don't know. But I think this channel will just be a lot easier for me to make content for if I feel like I can just make content. And hopefully you guys will stick around for it. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.